If you really have an idea, you will be moved to work on it. So because they never thought they were creative, they can never feel creative. And so they start feeling like imposters when they try to ever create something. Whenever they try to create a product, whenever they try to write a book, whenever they try to come up with a design, whenever they try to write a song, whenever they try to do any creative activity, they always have that feeling that pulls them down, that feeling that this thing will not work, that feeling that people won't like it, that feeling that I'm not able to do this, that feeling that this thing is not for me, because they have not dialed in the being. They've not come to understand who they are in the creative process by design. Hello, today I'm going to be sharing something really powerful with you. Many people have a misconception about what creativity actually is. Many people think that creativity is about having big ideas, and I'm going to tell you today why that is not correct and why I believe that creativity is beyond just having great ideas. Now, there's a concept that I came across that I call the equations of creativity, and that's what I have on the board. So if you're listening to this via an audio mechanism, I want you to pay attention, and you're still going to get what I'm trying to explain to those who are watching this on video. Now, most people think that idea is equal to creativity. That is, having big and fantastic ideas is equal to creativity. But I've come to discover that this is incorrect. As a matter of fact, having big ideas is not equal to creativity. There are many people who have great and fantastic ideas, but all of that is just a fantasy. So having big ideas alone equates to just a fantasy, right? Ideas without action is equals to fantasy. Now, so what is creativity? The way I like to define creativity is idea plus action. So idea plus action is what begets creativity. And there's more to this equation than meets the eye. Many people don't even know what it means to have ideas, and so they miss it for thinking. They think having great idea is about thinking, or having great idea is about having fantastic thoughts, right? So many people have thoughts. As you're listening to me right now, there are thoughts going through your mind, right? So having thoughts alone does not equate to creativity. So they think having thoughts plus action is what equates to creativity. But I believe that this is also a false belief. I've come to discover that idea is not equal to thoughts. Idea is not equal to thoughts. So it's not everything that you're thinking about that is an idea. An idea is more than just a thought. And that's why many people have many thoughts and no ideas. And they think that they are, creative because they have thoughts. And then some who have ideas, they have ideas without action and they think they are creative. Meanwhile, all they have is just a fantasy. So if having ideas is not the same thing as having thoughts, what is an idea? As far as I'm concerned, an idea is an emotionalized thought. So an idea is equals to emotion plus thoughts. If you really have an idea, you will be moved to work on it. You will have the electric energy that will move you, that will set you into motion, that will set that idea into motion, that will set your thinking into action. And this is why many people think up good things, they think up possibilities, but they end up not being able to implement any of their thoughts because their thoughts are not really concrete ideas. For your thoughts to be concrete ideas, it has to be backed with strong emotion. It could either be an emotion of pain, it could either be an emotion of frustration, discomfort, passion, or pleasure. And what do I mean? I'll give you an example. most of the greatest inventions came as a result of people who had a distaste, who had a dissatisfaction about a status quo. They were not satisfied with the way things were getting done, and they wanted a better way. That emotion moved them to start thinking of better ways to achieve what they were doing, and by reason of that, they were able to create something new. And that's why I believe that emotion plus thought is what produces ideas, and ideas plus action is what produces creativity. Now, having established that, there's more to this equation up here. There's more to this equation up here than meets the eye. Many people have the order of creativity. They have the order of creativity messed up, right? The order of creativity. Now, what is the order of creativity all about? The reason why many people are not creative is because they try to do creative things without following the process, without following the order that the creative or creation process should follow. And here's what it looks like. Many people try to do creative things, and then when they try to do creative things, they begin to think they are not creative because what they are doing or what they are trying to work on is really not working. And so they think that creativity is not for them. They think they are not creative. And then when they start thinking like that, they start feeling they are not creative. And then when they start feeling they are not creative, they become not creative, right? For lack of a better word. But the right order, this is the wrong order. The right order should actually be, you have to first be creative in the state of your mind. So I put it as being creative. When you have an understanding of your identity, that you are a creative being by design, and then you function in that understanding, and you have a consciousness of that identity that you have, you are in this state of being creative. Now, the next step in this order, which is the correct order, is to now begin to feel creative, right? So after establishing your identity as a creative being who has the image of the omnipotent creator God, you begin to now feel creative, and this is where your emotions come into play, right? Many people don't feel creative, and because they don't feel creative, they cannot create, because people do things because they feel like doing things. People create things because they feel like creating it, and that feeling could either be a feeling of pain, it could either be a feeling of pleasure, it could either be a feeling of frustration or dissatisfaction. So whatever feeling that can move a person into action, it comes from a knowledge and an identity that that person already has. And that's why you discover that people who already have this sense of identity, they are able to create more often because they are always in that state of flow. They are always in the zone where they can actually create. So after you've achieved the state of being creative, the next step in the creation process or in the creation order would be to feel creative. Now, when you start feeling the feelings of creativity, when you start having those feelings, those things that stirs you up, to think of better ways of doing things, then you get to think creative. Now, when you get to the point of thinking creative, you can now act creative or do creative things. And so this is the order of creativity, and this is why many people are not creative. They try to do creative things without thinking they are creative. To confirm this, I've had the opportunity to interact with many people in my work with them as a creativity coach, and one thing they'll tell you is that I don't think I'm creative, or I never thought I was creative. I thought creativity was for engineering, I thought creativity was all about art, so I never thought I was creative. So because they never thought they were creative, they can never feel creative. And so they start feeling like imposters when they try to ever create something. Whenever they try to create a product, whenever they try to write a book, whenever they try to come up with a design, whenever they try to write a song, whenever they try to do any creative activity, they always have that feeling that pulls them down, that feeling that this thing will not work, that feeling that people won't like it, that feeling that I'm not able to do this, that feeling that this thing is not for me, because they have not dialed in the being. They've not come to understand who they are in the creative process by design. And so when you understand your state of being as being a creative person, and you synchronize yourself in thought and action with the fact that you are creative, even when you've not created anything, that state of being will make you start feeling creative. And when you start feeling creative, you start thinking creative thoughts, and you start figuring out, how can I make this thing that I really want to come to me? Because of that strong passion and that emotionalized thought and feeling, the idea for creativity begins to come, and then you can now think creative. Once you are able to think creative, you will automatically act creative. Now, this is why many people are not creative in practice, because they have the order wrong. They have the order this way instead of having the order this way. If you're able to have this order dialed in, you will become a very creative person. You will be able to create the things that you were born to create. You'll be able to solve the problems you were born to solve, and you'll be able to achieve all that you were born to achieve. You become a more creative person. Now, this is the blueprint that I discovered for anyone, anywhere, to become more creative. So if you've been asking yourself, how can I be more creative? I want you to dial this in, and in my next videos, I'm going to show you how to be in the state of being creative. I'm also going to show you how to be in the state of feeling creative. I'm also going to show you how to be in the state of thinking creative, and then we're going to talk about how to act or do creative things. I hope you found some value in listening to me today. I want you to drop some comments on the comment section and tell me how you like this. This is my first time using a whiteboard to illustrate my point and to help you understand what I'm sharing. So if you like this style of teaching, I want you to tell me in the comment section. Thank you once again, and see you in my next episode. Have a good one.